fascinating shape and style, this aircraft. Very reminiscent in a way of those early generation jets. Of course, I had a little chat about those earlier on, referring to things like the MiG-15. This is right in pretty much the same area. The 15 a bit ahead of this one in many respects, but this one referred to in Swedish terms as the Flygande Tunnan, literally meaning the flying barrel. A Swedish fighter designed and manufactured by SAAB in the 50s. It was Sweden's second turbojet-powered combat aircraft, the first being the SAAB 21. Despite being a very rotund-looking aircraft, it was indeed fast and agile, and served very effectively in both the fighter and fighter-bomber roles right into the 1970s. It's in the hands today of Ole Noren, a very experienced Swedish Air Force pilot. Served both as a pilot and a flight engineer, and have flown a massive range of Swedish jets aircraft, well over 5,000 hours, and has been flying the vintage aircraft for at least 20 years now, including also the Vampires, Hunters, and a whole range of Saabs, as well as the Jazz 37 Viggen. After the Second World War, Sweden needed a strong air defence built around the newly developed jet propulsion technology. A couple of proposals were put forward by SAAB. The winning design being this barrel version. Although originally conceived as a straight-wing aircraft in the early designs, you can see here that it's got a 25-degree swept wing, based very much on the German research ahead of them on swept wing designs. And the SAAB engineer was given access to the aeronautical documents which had been captured by the Americans in 1945, clearly indicating that a delta and swept wing design had a great effect in reducing drag. And the extra drag, very key when any aircraft approaching the sound barrier, hence the sweeping, reducing that. So what we end up with, a small chubby aircraft with a single central air intake, a bubble canopy, and this thin swept back wing. First test pilot, the first test of this aircraft was actually made by an Englishman. First flight taking place on the 1st of September 1948. He then went on to become managing director of SAAB UK. He described the aircraft as being an ugly duckling on the ground, but in the air, a swift. And I think you'll agree with that as well. Total of 661 of these were built between 1950 and 1956. Used in various roles, as mentioned, hunting, reconnaissance, and attack. Capable of being armed with 4 20mm cannons, 2 napalm bombs, and rockets as well. Exported to Austria, where they were in service right up until until 1973. And very sadly, that's just whipped by in front of my eyes there. I was hoping for a few more minutes there, but Ole Noren